I just love it when you click the redo button after you undone everything. It looks so cool. Had to do that because I forgot to record. Yep. Good morning my wonderful viewers. Kerry here, back with a Sims 4 build. Also welcome to any new people that are watching because of the Silent Hill title. First, I must tell you that I have never played the Silent Hill Homecoming game, so don't yell at me if I get something wrong. Also, I am building this from one game to another, so things are definitely not going to look exactly the same. I'm using everything I have available to me in The Sims 4. The video may look like it's jumpy, it's not. I've jump cut everything right down to the last second of footage I needed. I had to go through 9 hours, 59 minutes and 56 seconds of video feed. Taking out the parts where the screen isn't doing anything, that was me checking the footage on the laptop while recording. And I also took out parts where I rotate the camera a lot. That's me checking that everything is in place and not poking through the walls or anything. And definitely a lot of the roofing footage. The roof was so hard because of the shapes I needed for the inside. We'll talk more about that later on though. You're going to notice that I don't build how I normally build. Those of you that normally watch my channel should know how I normally do it. I build, I decorate, I furnish. That just wasn't going to be possible for this build at all because I hadn't played the game. I had no idea what it was supposed to look like. I could only build what I could only see, as well as guesstimating from the floor plan drawings provided in the game how the build should have looked. On to the build then. I did start building it on a 20 by 30 lot thinking it would fit. How wrong I was about that. I needed a bigger lot, so eventually we do move to a 40 by 30 lot, but the lot was landscape and not portrait. It was supposed to be portrait, but there wasn't any in our Sims 4 Forgotten Hollows world. I didn't want to build it anywhere else, as I felt that the look and feel of the surroundings would just not feel right for the build, so landscape would just have to do. I just want to mention about the stairs. I know there's supposed to be another set at the bottom going next to the door, but we just don't have that option in the game. We only have the straight staircases. There was a lot of pushing and pulling of the walls with rebuilding them or taking them down. I wanted to try and get the rooms and spaces to fit on the already built ground floor. You'll also see me doing this later on, especially when we get to the front porch and garage, as I wanted the look to look right and to join to the house properly. Well, at least try my best. You'll see me putting squares on top of the rooms in a moment. That's me building the ceilings, as the game doesn't always give you ceilings because the rooms aren't complete. Even though they are complete, they're not to the game because I didn't build this floor all as one. I've built it in sections. See me putting in some more walls here. The upstairs is nearly complete, apart from that L-shape-ish thing. That does get filled in when we get up to the attic in the video. Just checking all is good, and that piece of wall next to that door, I removed, replaced that wall so many times doing this build. It was not good. I was like, do I need it? Don't I need it? Do I need it? I kept deciding I needed it, and then I decided I didn't need it. So now you're going to see me constantly jump up and down between the levels. I'm using shortcut keys from the game to do this. It's not the video or the recording. I did screw up those stairs during the build later on. You don't actually see it. You will see them moved over one though. I thought I had them in the wrong way and it turned out I didn't, so I just took that part out. Moving on to partially building the attic then. This was so hard to try and guess where it all should have been, especially with the hexagon shapes poking out. I had no clue. In the video there is a room in the attic of which a bookcase stands in front of it. I didn't put one in, I used that door from the game because the guy that you play, he has to push the bookcase over to get into that room. We're finally onto finishing and decorating then. We are down in the basement. This is the first place of the video footage that my partner got me of where we went, so I was literally following his videos. Every time he turned, I built that side. Every time he turned again, I built that side, which is why you'll see me jumping from each side of the room because I might have missed something. I didn't feel the need to keep in the footage where I decorate the walls and floor. You're going to see that while I'm building. I also kept out the stuff where I repeat items and where I'm rotating the camera to see if it looks right or not. I'm literally just showing you me placing the items of where they should be. From here then it might feel jumpy and quick. It is. I skipped out all the boring parts on purpose because I had to cut 10 hours down, right down to, I normally do 15-minute videos, but I said if the video is going to be longer, it's going to be longer. So I think we're not that far over it. I honestly thought it would be about half an hour, 45-minute video, but it looks like that's not going to happen, which is super awesome. This is where you should notice that we have moved to a new lot so that I could get the garden on here. I noticed more than earlier on. Also doing the garden because we're now in the back garden. From the video footage there is actually a picture from a child on the fence. I couldn't find one at the time when I was building this because I built this before I found all the debug items. Those that are simmers will understand what I'm on about. I constantly put grass down and then kept removing it when I realised I didn't need it. I didn't also realise that the kitchen came out one, but it doesn't in the house, so I had to leave it. Moving on to the kitchen then. This bit goes really fast and really quick, so pay attention. Now the piece where the window is, in the game it was actually flat. The sink and the cabinets to the windows were flat, but it wouldn't let me do that in the game. So what I did was I built a wall, which you're about to see. I put units behind it as if they were supposed to be there, and I kept the kitchen straight, and it ended up looking like this. It was horrible to do. Absolutely hated it. And I also wanted to get the curtains up where they were supposed to be. I had to build the wall, take it down, put it back up, put everything back. It was a pain, but this was the best look I could give it of how it should have looked, so I don't think I did really bad with that. Moving things over in the kitchen because they weren't right. I would say that this is the study area then. Oh no, it's not, it's the dining room, ignore me. I put normal plates in at first then, but then I found some dirty dishes, so I changed them out and put those in. To get items in the right place on the table, I did have to move them and then make them hover. Simmers will understand what I mean by that. This is where I start using all the debug items because you find cassettes and tapes that the guy that you play has to play. Now I know on this table there is supposed to be a sewing machine. We don't have one, so I put books on there to make it look like they were studying to do it. Wow, this is going very fast. I may struggle to keep up from this point on, so excuse me if I am behind the video of what I was supposed to be saying. I know the basement is actually flooded. That was the best flooring I could find, of which made it look similar to being flooded. Into the hallway we go. This one definitely does go very quickly. You have no idea how many times I had to do that light for that landing. I also know that the outside of the house is the wrong colour. I do eventually change it at the end. I also didn't realise that I didn't actually get the footage of me doing the living room, I think it is downstairs, but you do see that because there is a tour of the house build at the end. I was really struggling to get the items in the wardrobe over there. I don't know why they kept getting stuck on the door frame, so I had to do it from above. I feel like I'm doing a marathon talk here. I've never done it this fast before. Also, a lot of the footage I had was me searching through the catalogue, which is the thing at the bottom where all the items are. I spent a lot of time in the debug space looking for what I wanted or to find an item to see if it was in the game, because I'm not really familiar with the debug items. The bathtub is actually the wrong way around for the Sims to use it, but I still wanted the look more than how it should have played for the game, because I probably won't even play in the house. I just built it basically because every time it comes to October every year I like to do a build that isn't from any of my games. My partner does all the footage and I take about 3 weeks to build it. Last year I did a Tokyo Ghoul and a Tokyo Calf. I do apologise if I have pronounced it wrong. I'm not very good at pronouncing my words. This is a tour of the bedroom for, I think it's the boy. I forgot to record this too. Apparently I didn't press the button, so I did a quick tour around and that's what we did. This is, I want to call it the living room, upstairs family room or something, because it has a TV in. I do end up changing the shape of this room, and then you'll also see where the stairs end up moving over that I mentioned, moving into the attic and doing the roofing. I had to speed up this part of the video a bit more. It was moving too slow and I didn't want to keep in too much footage of the roofing. I needed these what I call apex roofings on the inside to get the look. I couldn't do the apex roofing everywhere, but I definitely wanted it in these two certain places for the video. Because of that is why the roof was so hard to do. I have cut probably about 2 hours of footage of just roofing. Then during the middle of this, obviously I have to stop and start in between days of me building it. I stopped and I watched Crystal Gamer, who is a fellow simmer. She did tutorials on roofing and I was like, oh, I wonder if this is going to help me for the Silent Hill build. I came back, I redid some more of the roof and I feel that the second time I did the roof it looked better because I struggled more with this piece because it stuck out. I couldn't put an apex roof behind it because then it would be inside the attic and I didn't need it in there, so that bit took a while. And also that hexagon piece there, oh god, cringeworthy stuff that is. It was horrible. Really horrible. If you are watching and you are a good roofer, you are probably sat there like, oh my god, Kerry, this is so easy, get it done, woman. That roof piece there was horrible. That disappears later on after I've watched Crystal Gamer's videos. Oh, it was horrid. I hated the roof, hated it because I needed those two pieces to be there for the look and feel. I then later on find out when I go to do the front of the house and the garage that the whole roofing is off, but because of how we've had to build it and the way that the game is, I was not at all going back to that roof after it was done and redoing it. Later on in the game I do accidentally screw up the roof because a piece that I ended up doing later on, I don't remember why, but the roof lines where there's roofs on top of roofs don't line up, and I ended up playing with that. I was like, oh my god, I'm screwing this up, I'm making it worse. This piece is horrid. What the hell am I doing here? I literally had a piece of triangle. I couldn't extend that hexagon thing because it would totally screw the whole thing up, and I was like, oh my god, this is all wrong. Then I put these in and I was like, that looks horrid, that is horrendous, how do I make it better? So I do end up using slope roofs. Oh Jesus, just cry, just sit in the chair and be like, oh my god, this is terrible. You are welcome to leave your comments down below of how terrible the roof is, because I totally agree. This is where I make those little hexagon side pieces better. I should have probably tried that on the big hexagon. Never mind, we are moving on to the attic. Let's move along. There is a fair bit of skipping, sorry. I have morning cough. I hate it when I have morning cough and I have to do a voiceover because it doesn't go away. Now behind the stairs was like in the roofing, like a big shelving, obviously because I can't delete the roof on the inside, which would be such a cool tool if we could. I decided to do the shelf with the boxes on. Also ignore those pieces of roof inside. I can't get rid of those because of how small the pieces are. So we're just going to pretend that they aren't there. Okay, use your imagination. They are not there. You can see. You saw me put in a little carriage there. That was to represent the bike that was in the video because we don't have any, even in debug or anything, and I don't use any CC with any of my Sims build because I just don't. I put lockers in to represent the cabinets in the attic, forgetting that in Get to Work, which is one of the packs, that we have filing cabinets. I don't know what happened there. Memory blank. Moving on to the front porch and the garage piece. This was even harder because of that curved piece. The roof, oh my god, you will probably cry. Once again, this piece was sticking out on the front of the house. I was like, hey, wait, what? This wasn't in the video when I was building the inside. So I had to add that on to make it look right at the front, but I cut it in at the back so you couldn't really tell, and you can still see that window because in the video there was a window that you could see, and I wanted to keep that. I also know that the garage does not have stairs going into it. What happens is when we build on foundations in The Sims, it raises foundations for everything built upon the lot. So I had to put stairs in. I used a door frame instead of a garage door because we just don't have a garage door like that. We have a closed one, but that wasn't going to give me the look that we needed. Moving on to the house tour. There are pictures of the basement instead of a tour as it wouldn't let me down the stairs. I think it's because I was visiting the lot and I wasn't living there. Also, for some reason, some of the items disappeared, especially in the kitchen. Unsure why that happened. I think it's because of how I've placed items. Some places on the front of the house where I put the front porch might be a little odd. That's because when I put the porch in, it deleted walls and items and I had to put them back. 2 doors in the house don't actually lead anywhere, they are just there in the game, so I copied. I also know that the inside of the attic should be brown, but because the outside is white, I didn't want to risk changing the colour and the brown peeking through, so just pretend it's brown. When you see the roofing in the attic on the tour, you will see why I struggled and why it looks so odd. Alright guys, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new here and press the bell to receive notifications when I upload, which is every Sundays and Tuesdays. Leave your comments down below of how you think I did going from one game to another and how bad my roofing is. Oh. That's all from me today. Hope you guys enjoyed it and I'll see you guys in my next video.